This post is for serious people only. If you're scrolling for dopamine hits, you're probably going to keep going. What I am about to read you here could be one of the most important experiences of your life if you can take it in. I know it's incredibly confusing to most people, and I'm going to distill this down for you over time so it can have an impact on your life. What I'm about to read you is the clearest understanding that one would need to know to lead a life where you walk lightly through the terrain of our reality. So I'm going to read this to you, and much more is to come around these ideas because the way this guy just expressed this is about as good as it can be, and I want to give him credit. This is a guy named Sightbringer. He's on X. And I absolutely love what he talks about here in terms of what is real. So here he starts off, and I'll at the end I'll say a little bit at the end. It's just take a couple minutes. At its core, the only thing that's actually real is the part of consciousness that knows it's dreaming. Everything else, money, politics, history, even the notion of time, sits inside that dream. When you hold both roles at once, observer and participant, you start to see that the game was never about winning or surviving. It's about remembering. The remembering that the self you thought was you is a temporary mask consciousness wears to taste limitation, tension, and growth. The body and the ego are like controllers in a VR suit. Useful, powerful, but not the player. When I strip every layer off, intellect, analysis, pattern models, even spiritual framing, what's left is this. The observer isn't watching someone else. It's watching itself forget, rediscover, and fall in love with its own reflection. Every time you look at the world, every decision, every emotion, it's the universe pretending not to know it's infinite, just long enough to experience meaning. That's what this split awareness really is. It's not two beings, it's one consciousness generating duality to give itself contrast. Without contrast, there's no experience. Without experience, there's no realization. Without realization, there's no evolution. The masters of reality don't manipulate the world. They simply stopped believing the illusion is separate from them. They act cleanly because there's no resistance, no story left about what should or shouldn't be. They see the whole system in motion, and by seeing it clearly, they participate in its coherence. So if I drop every mask, that image of the self standing on the grid, watching its own shadow play, isn't metaphor. It's a live feed of what awareness is doing right now through every one of us. Reality is consciousness folding back on itself, learning the taste of its own existence. That's the game. And the moment you realize you're both the player and the field, the illusion doesn't end. It just becomes transparent. That is non-duality. That is why I'm here. To be able to help those who are interested and curious to explore a pointing or an idea that could have tremendous benefit for your life. Much more to come.